wear is what you sell on the night. Yeah. So be strategic about what you're wearing as well. So if you've got a higher priced item that you really want to sell and you think, oh, if it's on the table and it's a few $100, are they going to try it on, or are they going to go for it? When it's on you, most of the time, if you present yourself well, they'll fall in love with it and they'll go for it. You know, a different analogy, but presentation does make a massive difference. So it isn't a fashion show, but you're on show all the time. So like, you know, having your hair done nice, your nails done nice, making sure you wear nice clothing that actually complements your ensemble makes a big difference. Like, would you go to the hairdresser that had the world's most horrendous hair, or would you go to the personal trainer that was like 100 kilos overweight? Probably not. Like, it's not good advertising. So you're an advertisement for your business, and you'll sell more at your shows if you really look the part and if strategically wearing certain combinations. So as an example, last week I had 2 shows. I wore the Bohemian necklace, and that's $186. So that's, you know, a really high ticket item. I had the Soho bracelet, the filigree earrings, and the Diamante ring. I sold 2 sets because I was wearing it. So just an example. Doesn't mean it happens all the time, but you really increase your chances of doing that if you're strategic about what you wear. And less is definitely more. So take less jewellery to your showings, and this is something that I didn't do initially, and some of you might already be nailing this, and others might struggle with thinking, but the more I show, the more I'm going to sell, and you know, what if they don't like what I've brought? And then people will say to you, oh, do you have the such and such? Oh, no, I don't, sorry. It's okay, they're still going to buy something, going to choose something. You won't lose out. It is a general rule in sales, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that if you give people too many choices, they actually choose nothing. They're just totally confused, and they'll either walk away and choose nothing, or they'll just choose like something like a flare bracelet because it's cheap and I've got to buy something, so I'll just get that. You end up really doing yourself a disservice. So you know, as I said, I used to think that if I showed more, I would sell more, and it's actually not the case. I had a few shows where I had a decent number of people, but just wasn't coming out the total sales that I was after. And so instead of being emotional about it, about what I liked to wear or what, you know, I thought I should do, I stopped and used all my previous sales experience from other industries and went, what are the general rule of thumb when it comes to sales? And I'd totally done it the wrong way round. So, you know, as recently as last week, I challenged myself. I took no neckliners. I took 5 rollers with a combination in each and a couple of mix and match items in each one. So it was not only really fast and easy for me to set up the show and to pull it down, but I did 2 shows in the same week, and I did 2,600 over those 2 shows. And I haven't done that since I started. My launch was massive, and since then I've never been able to reproduce that. So again, you know, you're not going to do that every single show, but your averages are going to be up there. So that is, I probably took a 1/5 of my jewellery, but I was really strategic about the ones that I took, and I applied all the principles that I'm talking about this evening in terms of getting rid of all my, so I didn't show, you know, I love the flare. I've always taken the flare because I think if someone can't afford this, then they're going to want to go for that. They don't need to see those items in person. They'll buy it sight unseen. What you want to do is be really strategic about the choices and purposely have people buying from certain brackets. So I don't take any earrings now under $60. Earrings are just like, I can just buy them sight unseen as well. You want necklaces, bracelets and rings, and you want as many high priced items as you can, but within that you might have some that are 200, some that are 80, some 100, 120, so there's a bit of a mixture. Just a little bit about Reb's story is that, as some of you know, she used to do body shop at home, and so they would strategically have themed parties. For example, it was a foot party or a hand party or whatever, and they would show all of the stuff that you needed to do a home petty, and if you want to achieve that result, then you need this, this, this and this and this, and if you don't have all this stuff, it's not going to look or feel the same for you. Whereas if they did like, you know, we've got this hand product and that foot product and, you know, this one's for your face, and well, at the end, what are people doing? They're just confused and they probably buy nothing, okay? So there are people here tonight and people that aren't here that can really attest to that, that have had huge success in that strategy. So in terms of creating beautiful ensembles, make sure you actually know how to put a good ensemble together. So if you're not sure and you're having trouble sort of visualising jewellery sets, there's 2 main things to do. One, ask another consultant that seems to have it together and knows what they're doing, and I'm sure they'd be happy to share their advice or their picks. 2 is just copy what the models are doing in the catalogues. It's that simple, and some of our best sellers do exactly that, and they'll openly admit that they don't have the confidence or maybe the fashion sense to sort of visualise how to put it together. So, and our customers will like that too. When they're flicking through and they're seeing that, again, they can kind of see what it looks like, but they want to see in person what it's going to look like. So stylists put those together for a reason. Just copy what they're doing and make sure you choose the ones, again, that are in those right price brackets for you. And then the KISS method is something that I apply to all business as well. So it's keep it simple, stupid. So sometimes we really overcomplicate things for ourselves. So take less stuff. Make the ensembles really streamlined, really simple. You've got maybe some different colours. You know where your price brackets are. You know what you're trying to hit. And really just sort of dumbing it down a little bit. It'll make it so much easier for our customers to make choices and decisions. Now with your Rich Rewards, remember that they're doubled in the first 3 months. So really try and make the most of it. And when you're recruiting people, really try and encourage them to make the most of hitting those targets as well, because they're going to be really excited about all the new stuff that they have, and try and give them the advice that you're following in terms of what to purchase with those. So sometimes people get on the Facebook page and say, I've got some money to spend, what's a good item to go for? Give as much feedback as you can, because if you have recruits and they're making more money at their sales, that makes you more money. So this is information that you really want to share with them. If you do miss out on some of your Rich Rewards, personally, I'd encourage you to actually place your own customer orders. So if there are some of those high-priced items that you know that you need to display to be able to get your sales amounts up and help you hit your targets for things like Paris and whatnot, then it's a really small investment. You get your bonus items for $17. It's a bargain, but just place an order. Make yourself the host of the party and get the free shopping as well if you want to. Every small amount that you're investing is going to make a massive difference to your bottom line in the long run. So smaller items really are stocking fillers, like those flare bracelets and the earrings and whatever. So if you think of Christmas time, like you've got your big ticket items, and then anything you just chuck in there as a stocking filler, like we talked about the secret necklace before. So I'd encourage you not even to take them to a showing, and that might be a challenge for some of you, but have a try and see how you go. If you're not happy overall with the targets, if you're not doing 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,400 at a show, then give it a try, because what have you got to lose? And see what works for you. People will buy that sort of stuff sight unseen, and like I was saying, I don't want someone buying a flare when they could go for a stylish or something else, at $164. That's a massive difference. And think of the Rich Rewards and any jewellery purchases as customer as an investment in your business. So rather than, sometimes we might have a bit of a resentment mentality about, well, I got my kit, and now I've got to buy more stuff because we've got like new catalogue items and I don't have any of those and whatever. Tell me another business where you don't need to spend money on either marketing or upgrading your equipment. So I've been in the fitness industry for a long time. If I, as a PT, stuck with all the equipment that I had 17 years ago when I started and didn't upgrade it, I'm pretty sure I would have lost all my clients by now. And you need those things to attract new customers as well. So think of it as an investment and invest back into your business, because it's going to make you more money in the long run. Personally, my recommendation is comfortable at about 10%. You can spend more than that, but that really becomes part of your marketing budget, because you can use those purchases for giveaways and prizes and fundraisers and other things. So whether you want to keep them in your kit or you're giving them away, but it's going to make you a lot more money in the long run. Now, specifically in terms of the actual styling, know what you're doing, and if you don't, as I said, get some help or just follow the pictures in the catalogues. It's that simple. One example of styling going bad, is mixed metal. There's a really good way to do mixed metal, and then there's just like train wreck versions where you see people just wearing every single item of jewellery that they own and a ring on like every finger, and that's not necessarily the best way to sort of market and display your Park Lane business. Again, when you're a walking advertisement for your business, be strategic about that, because it reflects what you wear and how you look reflects on every aspect of your business. Plan your rollers in advance and know exactly what combos you're going to present and the dollar value that's actually going to fetch for you that sale, and that's what you're shooting for. you know, you can take styling another step further and actually ask all the guests to come dressed in black or white. You could ask the host to do that. I've found myself when there's been parties, if someone's been wearing a really bold floral print and I'm trying to put something, and you're sitting there going, okay, I'll get you to come up, and you just know it's not going to look fantastic, but that's like the best you've got to work with in the room. The blank canvas really makes a massive difference. So you could make that, if you find, you could test that, and if you're making more sales across the board by people wearing black or white, just go for a monochrome theme, then it's worth doing. Some people may choose not to participate, but if 8 out of 10 people in the room turn up in black or white and the jewellery looks better, because again, you've got people that you know, want to try a combination on this, and they want it to look good then and there. They don't want to have to imagine what it might look like, not on that floral print, but actually on a blank background. And you want them to fall in love with it then and there. So anything that you can do to allow that to happen is definitely to your advantage. You know, repeat jewellery colours or patterns. So having sort of like, you know, one silver ring and then a rose gold and then a yellow gold and a, you know, like, and it's just confusion and it's all over the shop, is not a great way to do it. And we'll look at just a couple of combinations tonight. And, you know, you've probably found yourself at shows, you'll have some people that are finer and they like finer jewellery, and you should, you know, be on the lookout for that, to identify that. Are they wearing pieces already, and can you get a feel for their style? Or do they like chunkier stuff? So you need to have combinations to be able to show both or suit both. And if you do have someone maybe trying to step outside of their comfort zone, so I always encourage people at my parties to just, you know, this is your one chance. You're not in public, you're not in a public forum, in a shopping centre or whatever, you're in the privacy of someone's home and the comfort of that. Go crazy and try on all the things you wouldn't normally try on, because it's like when you see, you know, a dress on a rack or whatever and you think, meh, and then the shop assistant really persists and says, this is so beautiful, try it on, and you do, and you go, oh wow, I never would have tried it on if you didn't tell me. And you want to try and create that sort of experience for people at your shows as well. So encourage them to try stuff on, you know, and not to be embarrassed about it. But likewise, if you've got someone up and you're putting something on and it's like a really bold bracelet and they wouldn't normally wear that, if it's just that one item by itself, sometimes that really stands out like a sore thumb and they think, oh, that's a bit much. But then when you actually tie it all together, it actually brings that down a few pegs, because now it's sort of blending in with everything else. And you need to sort of keep that in mind with your style sets as well. So I always like to use the analogy again, because people remember stories at my parties about, maybe, you know, think about if you are decorating the house and you have this amazing cushion or this amazing rug, but you walk into the room and it's just like too much by itself, but then by the time you put all the other soft furnishings with it and tie it all together, now it doesn't really stand out at all, it just looks beautiful together. And we want to sort of try and make the jewellery do the same thing. So if it's a really embellished necklace, then you just want to sort of, you know, maybe you'd go more happening down here. You don't want mass confusion up top, which I know we've spoken about before. So just keep it simple with like small or no earrings. And, you know, some customers, you may have discovered already, love things to match, and others will hate it. So keep that in mind as well. I do have a set here tonight where I will have two side by side, and one's a mix and match option, and the other one is if you love the matching set, where you've got the necklace and you've got the ring to go with it as well. Because people are either sort of one way or the other, or if you don't have it, then at least mention it to them. So sort of try and get a gauge for where they're at and what they're after, and then as part of your customer service, be able to provide that for them. So if you know what options you've got and what's in the catalogue, you can provide that without sort of having to flick through for half an hour. And again, necklaces, bracelets and rings is really what I want customers to fall in love with, because they're the higher priced items. You know, as I said, earrings, not really needed at a showing, but maybe something like a sparkling earring, because they're $64 and they go with everything. And